Year 4 and welcome back to our class reader. So today we've got chapter 38 and we're finally, hopefully, going to find out what was in that cabin. When I get there, Praveen is swinging the axe against the cabin door. The wood cracks. He hits it again and again and wood shards splinter into the air. "Get back," he says. Whack. A wooden panel of the door drops to the ground, leaving a hole. Praveen sticks the axe head into the earth before pulling the sharp edges off the opening with his fingertips. He turns on the torch and steps through the hole in the wood. I follow him. It's dark and Praveen shines the torch in all directions. Leopard skins hang all around us on meat hooks. Their heads and faces are still attached, mouths open, roaring. I retch. The bad smell I thought was rotting leaves is blood, skin and salt. The smell of death. Praveen inspects the skins. They don't have any tears on them, he says. No gunshot wounds or knife wounds. How were they killed? He moves through them. There must be at least 20 in here. Praveen shines the torch against the underside of a skin. It's marked, he says. Look. I look closer and see a name stamped across the skin, but it's not Mr. Bart's or Mr. Arnald's. It's Rahul Veer, Dad's name. They all have them, says Praveen. My skin tingles and I feel sick. I have got to get out of here, I mutter. With a dizzy head I step outside into the fresh air, holding on to the cabin wall to steady myself. I double over and vomit. Are you okay? Praveen runs out after me and places a hand on my back. I gasp that I'm fine. They were poisoned, Praveen says. It's the only explanation. How do you poison leopards? I ask. You poison their food, he says slowly. The pieces fall into place in my mind. Your goats that were taken, I ask. He nods. My thoughts turn to Polly. Would she eat from a poisoned carcass? I picture her lying on the ground somewhere. I have to find her. I'm going to look for Polly, I say. I'll meet you back at the hotel. He nods. Polly, I call, heading into the forest. I climb on top of a boulder and shout her name as loudly as I can. Polly! I wait for her bark or the rustle of the undergrowth. Nothing. I jog onwards, deeper into the trees. I smell a carcass before I see it. Please don't be Polly, I whisper to myself as I rush towards the putrid smell. It's been 2.5 days since I've seen her. I enter a clearing and see the carcass dangling from a low tree branch, the head brushing against the ground. Its stomach has been split. I cover my mouth. It's one of Praveen's goats. The carcass is too heavy for me to take down on my own. I need help to remove it before any more innocent animals are poisoned. I rush back to the hotel and my heart stops. Toad and Stinger are on the front porch. Grandma and Dad are arguing with them. I hurry over. The police are on their way, Dad is saying. That doesn't bother us, says Toad with a nasty smile. It should, I reply, striding up to them. I saw you shoot a leopard. No, you didn't, said Toad. I was here the whole time. As far as I was concerned, we were running an innocent hotel. He turns to Dad with a smirk. You're the one who offered to take the guest leopard hunting. You're the one who's been using the hotel as a cover to poach. Your name is even signed on the leopard skins. You're the ones who will go down for this. You and the old lady. I gasp. They're pinning everything on Dad. Every single detail. The police will believe us, says Dad. Oh yeah, says Toad loudly. Who would you believe? Some children and an old lady, or businessmen and one of the most successful film stars of all time? We won't let you get away with this, says Dad. What proof do you have that we had anything to do with this? Asks Toad, leaning in aggressively to challenge Dad. Dad clenches his fists. I think about all the times they've come in and out of the cabin, all the photos I took of them, and the one of them and the dead leopard. If only the memory card wasn't broken. It's all we have, the proof we need. Now call the police and tell them not to come because you made a mistake, says Toad, thrusting his chest forward, or your whole family's going to prison. Dad and Grandma glance at each other. Dad shakes his head desperately. Fine, Dad says, I'll ring them. My throat tightens. Why don't you use my phone, says Toad, passing it to him. Dad dials the number and speaks to the police officer in Hindi. There, you got what you want, says Dad, hanging up. Now get out of here. Dad yells at them. Now. Toad sniggers. Let's go, he says to Stinger. But Stinger lingers for a second, watching Dad as if he wants to say something before leaving. They poisoned a carcass, I tell Dad shakily as we watch them walk away. It's hanging in the forest. That's how they've been killing the leopards. You need to take it down. I'm worried about Polly. I'll go now, he says. Pack a bag, Ruby. We may have to leave again. He takes my hand. And listen, I promise I never would have got involved in this if I knew the extent of it. I'll make it right again, okay? I just need time to think. I nod and turn to go inside, tears gather in the corner of my eyes. We're not running away again, I hear Grandma say quietly to Dad as I go. I step inside and wipe my face with my sleeve. I'm crying for everything, for all the loss that follows me around, for the leopard, for Polly, for my mum. And I'm crying because I don't want to leave again, because despite everything that has happened, it finally feels like home here. Well, they're in a very difficult position now, aren't they? Because they've got their evidence, but unfortunately the poachers have really been quite cunning, because what they've done is on the skins of the carcasses and from the skins of the animals that they've got, they've actually stamped the dad's name on the furs. So it looks actually like it's Ruby's dad who's responsible for all the poaching and for collecting the furs of the leopards. So we'll have to see what happens next, and if finally the poachers get the justice they deserve. See you next time, you four. Bye.